Thanks for joining us. I'm Alex Bell, and if you're struggling to live in Sacramento, you're not alone. The capital city is among the 25 most expensive places to live in the United States, and the housing crisis is very real. City Council just approved more than $35 million to help fund 7 new initiatives designated to create more affordable housing. But this isn't the first time that council members have set aside a large chunk of cash to tackle the issue. Now, despite the effort, many of those plans still have nothing to show for it. And in tonight's main point, Van 2 looks into the city's plans and the impact that it's having on those that do not have a home. Van?
Well, Alex, the new affordable housing developments fall under the city's comprehensive siting plan, which now looks a lot different from when it was first approved last August. The original plan was called the Master Siting Plan to address homelessness. It was approved with the mayor calling it a once-in-a-generation opportunity. That roadmap listed sites for 20 new shelters and camping or parking spaces spread out across the city. But to this day, no new sites have opened. We spoke to some unhoused people who say they are desperate for relief.
Pitching his tent under the WX freeway, Don Hunt says it's the safest and cleanest spot he can find.
But I didn't plan on being out here for this long.
The former Sacramento High class of 1980 football player has been unhoused for 2 years. His woes began when he couldn't afford rent and cartilage in his leg began deteriorating.
It's hard for me to get around.
He says he had a car, but it was towed. Then he was in a shared housing program, but he says it ran out of funding. So he was back in the streets in December. Steady housing is hard to come by.
You can't afford rent. Now, you ask yourself, where would I go? If you was in this position, where would I go?
Hunt says he was hopeful when he got word the city planned on opening tiny homes and safe parking sites.
I thought it was coming.
The area where Hunt's tent is was proposed as a tiny home site, but it was halted September 2021 when a lawsuit argued the city skirted environmental review and could put the unhoused at risk under the freeway. Over at Arden Way and Colfax Street, unhoused people reclaimed this vacant lot 3 weeks ago. This after being cleared out in April with a promise of tiny homes or a safe parking site that was never fulfilled by the city, they say.
Not being able to support yourself and help yourself, and even ask somebody else to do anything for me is pretty rough.
Hunt says he hopes city leaders can find a solution to the affordable housing crisis, a dilemma he wouldn't wish anyone to face firsthand.
So there is some hope here that the money initially for the safe camping and parking sites instead will be used for these permanent affordable housing developments. But the waiting game continues. These sites may not be available until at least 2024, Alex.
Yeah, and the original plan was to expand the sites and offer help at those sites. Did the city make good on any of those promises?
Yeah, so those were the 20 new sites, but there was also expansion efforts as well. So the city says that the North 5th Street shelter expanded to serve more than 160 people, which was less than the goal of an upwards of 200 people. The city says a private site also for 15 people who are at their end-of-life stages is also still under development. So that is a promise that was made and that they are still working on, Alex.
All right, Van, thank you so much. We appreciate it.